A
Ever find yourself
triangular
scrolling
tower.
online and just
It's mysterious.
stumbling across something weird, something that
Spotted
makes you
on
stop
Area
and think,
51.
wait, what is that?
Oh, definitely. Those little internet rabbit holes.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving headfirst into one of those. You might have seen whispers about it online, this uh, really strange triangular tower spotted on Google Maps. And not just anywhere, but smack bang in the middle of Area 51.
Yeah, that combination is almost tailor-made for
Area
speculation, isn't
51.
it? Area 51 plus a weird structure.
It really is. So that's our focus today. We've been looking through the articles, the forum discussions, the stuff that's floating around online.
The same stuff people listening have probably seen pop up.
Right. And our mission, basically, is to try and unpack it. What are the facts? What are the theories? We're trying to make sense of this desert puzzle together.
It's located out there in Nevada, about, 80 miles northwest of Vegas?
That's the spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, its appearance of Google Maps definitely kicked things off.
It's that accessibility, isn't it? Using a tool we all know, like Google Maps, to find something unexpected in a place known for secrets. That's potent.
Oh, absolutely. And the reactions online were, well, immediate and pretty varied.
I bet. What were people saying?
All sorts. Okay, so you had some straightforward guesses, like maybe it's just a skyscraper frame or some kind of big exhaust vent.
Plausible, maybe? If a bit boring for Area 51.
Huh, exactly. But then it got more creative. Someone said it looked like a giant Dyson air purifier.
Okay, I can kind of see that shape.
Right. Another thought. A Jenga piece left standing. Or a Samsung TV remote.
A TV remote? That's specific.
I know. And this one made me laugh. The Leaning Tower of Pizza. Not pizza. Pizza.
Yeah, Leaning Tower of Pizza. Okay.
And maybe my favorite, the Toblerone Trade Center.
Okay, the Toblerone comparison with the triangular shape, I get that one. That's pretty good.
It's that human thing, isn't it? Trying to connect the unknown to something familiar, even if it's chocolate.
Totally. We need those reference points. But given the location, Area 51, the speculation must have gone beyond just household objects.
Oh, it definitely did. Over on Reddit, things got, well, predictably weirder. You had suggestions like it being an alien testing site for white powders.
White powders? Okay, that's imaginative.
Right. Another theory was it's part of some huge alien tech that only, emerges when the Earth is done.
Wow, very dramatic.
Commented
End
thoughts
of
on
days
story.
stuff.
A bit.
Ugh.
And then there was a more philosophical take. Someone suggested maybe it was built just to provoke theoretical conversation. Like its purpose is the mystery.
Huh, that's meta. A structure designed to make us talk about it. Interesting idea.
And on Facebook, it was maybe a bit lighter, lots of jokes, but still that same sense of shared, what is this
Or
thing?
that collective curiosity. And I imagine the pop culture references started flying.
You know it. The big one, inevitably, was the monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Of course. That's the go-to for any mysterious geometric object, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It instantly adds that layer of, maybe this is something big, something alien even.
That film really set a precedent for how we frame these kinds of discoveries. It primes us for the extraordinary.
So if people want to see it for themselves, the coordinates are out there. You can pop them into Google Maps. It's 37.24624 north.
And 115.82334 west.
Exactly. Pull it up and you'll see it. And it's not just sitting in empty desert either. You zoom out a bit and you see buildings, vehicles, roads.
And those huge runways, right, for Homey Airport or Groom Lake.
Yeah, the whole infrastructure is there. It just hammers home that this is a very active, very restricted place.
And that placement is key, isn't it? Finding this inside Area 51 makes it infinitely more intriguing than if it were, say, in a field in Kansas.
Absolutely. The context ramps up the speculation massively. And the visuals themselves are kind of interesting, too. There's this looping dirt pattern around its base.
Yeah, I saw that. Almost like a noose shape or a lasso laid on the ground. Wonder what that's about.
No idea. And the shadow it casts is really prominent in the satellite photos.
Right, which tells you it's got some height to it. Someone joked it could be a sundial, right?
Yeah, a very accurate sundial, which, given the sharp angles, maybe, probably not. But it's a fun thought.
The desert light probably makes that shadow look even more dramatic. And that dirt loop, could it be related to testing? Like a boundary or something?
Could be. But here's another layer to the puzzle Google Maps itself. It doesn't label the tower.
Really? Nothing at all.
Nope. You can click right on it, get the coordinates, but there's no tag, no name, no indication of what it is. Just an unmarked feature.
That is interesting. Usually even minor things get some kind of label. For it to be completely blank in that location, that feels intentional, adds to the mystery vibe.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered the wild theories, the comparisons, the location
The
details.
Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Can't forget that one. But now let's get into what's considered the most probable explanation. Maybe less exciting, but more grounded.
Right, the radar cross-section testing idea, or RCS.
Exactly. Can you break down what that actually involves?
Sure. So RCS, radar cross-section, is basically a measure of how visible something is to radar, how much radar energy it reflects back.
Like for stealth planes and stuff.
Precisely. If you want an aircraft to be stealthy, you need its RCS to be as low as possible so it barely shows up, or doesn't show up at all, on enemy radar.
Okay, makes sense.
So RCS testing involves measuring that reflectivity. You often mount the aircraft, or sometimes just a model or a component, on a pylon or tower.
Uh-huh. A tower. Like perhaps a triangular one.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Mounting it high up helps reduce interference from radar waves bouncing off the ground, giving you cleaner measurements.
And you need to test it from different angles, right?
Exactly. You'd rotate the test object on the pylon and hit it with radar from various directions to see how its signature changes.
So someone online pointed this out, didn't they? That the tower's features, like this shadow suggesting height and its position, it looks like other known RCS test pylons.
Yeah, that's a key piece of evidence. The visual characteristics seem consistent with structures built specifically for this purpose. You need something strong enough to hold potentially large test articles and tall enough to get clear measurements.
And we have an idea of the size.
The estimates I saw put it somewhere between maybe 150 and 190 feet tall.
Which sounds pretty substantial. Definitely tall enough to cast that shadow we see.
For sure. And the timeline seems to fit, too. It's thought to have been built around 20 years ago, roughly.
Which would line up with periods of developing advanced aircraft, presumably.
It would, yes. It's a logical time frame for needing that kind of specialized test facility.
Now, here's a little twist, though. Apparently, the U.S. government did actually, acknowledge this structure exists back in 2013.
Oh, really? So it's not completely off the books, then?
Not entirely, no.
Yeah.
But the fact that they seemingly waited maybe a decade after it was built to even put it on the record,
Yeah.
well, that keeps the Area 51 mystique alive, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. That delay itself invites questions. Why wait?
Right.
Was its purpose more sensitive initially? Even an eventual mundane explanation doesn't erase that period of silence.
It's true. And this whole thing kind of fits into a pattern, doesn't it? Of weird things popping up and the internet going wild, like that thing in New Mexico recently.
Oh, yeah. The structure that people thought might be a UFO crash site or something.
Right. And it turned out to be a rainwater collector.
Pretty mundane in the end. But the initial speculation was huge for a bit there. Didn't they replace it, too?
They did. Which just added another little wrinkle. It shows how quickly we jump to maybe the more exciting conclusions.
We're wired for pattern recognition, and sometimes, well, we see patterns that lean towards the extraordinary. It's human nature.
And remember that doorway in Antarctica near the Japanese research station?
Ah, yes. The theories for that one were great. Bigfoot's vacation home, wasn't that one?
That was one of them. It just shows how these images circulate and get interpreted, often with humor, sometimes seriously,
Yeah.
but always grabbing attention.
It's the power of a compelling visual combined with the unknown. A perfect recipe for online buzz.
So bringing it back to the listener, you might be thinking, okay, interesting story, but why does it matter to me?
Well, I think it matters because it's a perfect little case study in how we process information and maybe misinformation online, especially about places like Area 51.
Yeah, it highlights that tension, right? Between our natural curiosity, wanting to believe in something amazing, and the need for, critical thinking.
Exactly. We want the mystery, we're drawn to the unexplained, but it's important to balance that with looking at the evidence and considering the more rational explanations too.
Understanding how these stories catch fire online is pretty relevant for everyone navigating the internet today, I think.
Definitely. Being aware of that dynamic is crucial.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We had this triangular tower at Area 51, sparking everything from alien theories to comparisons with Toblerone bars.
And TV remote.
Can't forget the remote. But when you look at the location, the likely activities there, the structure's features, the most plausible explanation points towards it being used for radar cross-section testing.
Yeah, this seems to be the most rounded conclusion based on what we know. It fits the context of Area 51's known research and development role.
It's a good reminder that even in the most mysterious places, sometimes the explanation is technical, not necessarily extraterrestrial.
Though the mystery certainly sells better.
It absolutely does. And Area 51, well, Its mistake isn't going away anytime soon, is it? It keeps fueling both serious investigation and, let's be honest, some pretty wild imagination.
It really does. It makes you think, doesn't it? About how much we want there to be something extraordinary hidden away.
Yeah. How often does that desire maybe cloud our view of simpler, more mundane realities? What does that say about us, about our fascination with the unknown?
That's a deep thought to end on. Maybe it encourages people to look into other, less famous declassified sites, or even just the history of radar itself, which is actually pretty fascinating.
Well, absolutely. There's always more to explore.
Thanks.